All right, we just rolled over to 7 o'clock. We'll give it another minute or two and let some folks come in and join us here in the room. Oh, let's see, is my wreath turned on? Trying to look festive here for our last Wednesday of the year. While we wait the last minute here, let me go ahead and get out my disclaimer because I just saying it for years and do not have it memorized. Okay. Coming up on 7:02. Got a couple people joined in here tonight.
Hey, man.
Jeremy, thanks. Hey, how are you?
Doing great, my friend. Thank you so much for hosting these.
I'm kind of hooked on it now. I've been doing it every Wednesday for a year and a half. I forget when we started the first one. I'd have to look back, but I was going through my sort of Facebook Messenger list. I'm like, oh, Jeremy, I'm going to quick send him a link too. See if I can get to join in. Now, mind you, that's the last time this link works. This is our last one of the year. We do have a new link for the 2021 or 2022 year, and I'll be sharing that that info just in a second here. Got to go find it.
All right, keep up the good work. I'm going to shut everything off and just chill back and watch and listen.
Okay. Yeah, tonight's going to be a real chill night. So thanks for being here. All right, and with that, we rolled past 7:02. We're at 7:03. We're about time to get ready here. So let's get started. As always, I want to welcome you here to the South Carolina Cannabis Conversation. My name's Scott Weldon. I am the Executive Director of the South Carolina chapter of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, lovingly known as NORML. And before we go welcoming everybody officially, we will start the meeting with our disclaimer that all of our meetings are an environment of education and awareness and are not an open market for the sale, purchase, or distribution of cannabis. We do not encourage or condone illegal behavior of any kind. Close that up. And as always, I'm going to welcome everybody who's joined me here in the room so far, anybody who may have joined by watching on our live stream on YouTube, and also welcome anybody who's watching on YouTube as a recording later. Whenever I mention YouTube, I like to mention that during the live streams, we are not monitoring the comment section on the YouTube channel. So if you do have any questions, comments, and or concerns, leave them down below in the comment section, off to the side, wherever it is on the device that you're using. And once YouTube is done rendering the live stream to a video or whatever it is they do, we'll come back and we will address your questions, comments, and concerns. Again, my name's Scott Weldon. Welcome to everybody who's joined our South Carolina Cannabis Call tonight. Tonight, we have no real topic. Last Wednesday of the year, pretty much, I think I sent it out there as our holiday social and happy hour. I'm laughing because just shortly before starting the meeting, I mentioned to my wife, I throw terrible parties. The last party I think that we tried to throw was here on, let me get it right, December 28th of 2019. I tried to invite some activists and supporters and stuff to my home for a little covered dish kind of thing. And that was probably the beginning of what's been the past 2 years of fun for me. As many of you know, I have some of my digestive issues, and it flared up on me that morning as I'm preparing this stuff to get everything ready for the party. And by the time the first person got to the door, it was already kind of green in the gills, and it didn't get any better than that. My wife tried to sort of hostess for me, and a couple of people there sort of tried to keep the party light or whatever, but I was just wandering around like death and mostly hiding in my bed, sick as a dog. So anyway, we got Shane joining, and that sort of turned into the past 2 years of my sort of health roller coaster. I'm happy to say that a year later, I think I'm doing better. I still have my issues. As a matter of fact, today and yesterday haven't been necessarily great days. So I'm partying light. As always, I have my big jar of water because I must stay hydrated. I got myself these little mints because I just love these little mints. These are like, not really, they're minty like candy canes, but they're much softer. They don't break your teeth. And I am a fan of hot cocoa. So I have my mug of hot cocoa here, sans any alcohol, because again, the digestive system doesn't like the alcohol. And I had, one of our supporters had made me some cookies. So I have a couple of cookies to enjoy during our conversation here. Home baked cookies. So I'm hoping to get a little baked at home myself. But anyway, I just kind of want to welcome you all and say happy holidays to you, and see where you're at with things. We have Josh enjoying a little bit of herbal tea or herbal remedy. Love. But yes, I don't know how it is with y'all. Maybe y'all can chime in a little how your holidays were. Ours are quiet. We're kind of old people. My wife and I don't have young ones running around. We don't put up a big tree. We're not religious, so we're more solstice celebration than a religious celebration for us. And we like to kind of, this year especially, we kept it really kind of on the quiet side. We moved to Charleston in, let me get this right, mid 2016. And when we first got here, we really didn't know anybody. We happened to find a bar down on Folly Beach that did a covered dish on Thanksgiving and on Christmas. And we started kind of doing those. They had them again this year. We ended up doing Thanksgiving with family, and Christmas we made it at home. Yeah, we didn't even leave the house, I don't think much. So we kept it really, really simple. I mean, we did leave a little bit. Christmas Eve, we go over to the holiday lights, the Festival of Lights, they call it, at the James Island County Park here, one of our park system. Which is, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty impressed by the park systems and the way they kind of operate here compared to where in Pennsylvania, where I was from. But anyway, they're quite active. I volunteer a lot with the local park system as well. I get a kick out of that. It's one of my ways of giving back to the community. But we go over there on Christmas Eve with my daughter's family. Her grandchildren come along, and we like to watch them roast the marshmallows over the open fires that they have. The gas flame, but they have these fake logs stacked up, and you heat up your marshmallows. You buy these little s'mores kits and stuff, and they have other things to do as well. But that's kind of the highlight of ours. We go over, we drive through, we look at the lights, because it's a drive-through type light. They do have on the opening, they do have a walk-run type thing, and usually I volunteer for that to sort of help keep people on track on where they need to go. But and then Christmas Day, we did stop over to the kids and delivered some Christmas presents, and then came home again. That was it for us. It was really nice and quiet. How about y'all? Anybody do any? Is it pronounced Ina or Ina? I don't want to mispronounce it, but I'm going to say Ina says to me that, in text that went to Maine. I got to look. Is Maine a legal state? I would think so. I know Massachusetts. Maine. They have medical. Correct. Published in 2020, Maine voters approved recreational use retail sale taxation and November 2016 as per Maine Legalization Act. Both recreational and medical marijuana dispensaries are open for business in Maine. I bet you it was nice to head back to Maine for a little while. I would like to visit Maine. I wonder what their tax rates are. Maine patients are required to pay a 5.5% tax. There's no additional excise tax on medical. Maine consumers are required to pay. So 5.5% for medical consumers, 10% for Maine consumers. Good to know. How snowy is Maine this time of year? I'd assume they've gotten a good coverage by now. Hang on, a little sip of cocoa time. What I do tend to do with my cocoa during the holiday season is melt a candy cane into it. And I didn't do that earlier, so I'm going to eat one, drink a little cocoa. So I might kind of mumble here for a minute or three while I'm eating my mint. That tastes like the holidays. And I will admit, most of the time my cocoa drinking's in the morning with a little bit of instant coffee mixed in to give it a kick. Oh yeah, that's the holidays. Right there, minty hot cocoa. It is crazy. It's funny that you mentioned safe access and being forced out of state. I forget which site I saw it on, but I think it was may have been on Instagram, but he posted across Instagram and Facebook is Senator Tom Davis, and he posted something today. Let's see if I can find it on his Facebook page. There it is. Net migration by state in 2021. And I almost expected, actually, I did expect to see South Carolina down because I know how many cannabis refugees have left the state. Well, I don't know how many. I wish I did. I wish there was numbers on that. But actually, South Carolina is a net growth state by about 64,833 of all y'all Northerners coming on down here trying to warm your toes up all year round. I'm just as guilty. Where are they moving from? Mass exodus out of New York and California. Well, California is a big state to start with, so those big numbers. But yeah, they're like over 350,000, both of those down. Where are they all going? Well, it looks like Florida and Texas and Arizona and North Carolina and South Carolina. Oh, I read the long line for South Carolina, 61,000. Anyway, that number would probably be higher if they would legalize full medical and or full recreational, because you'd have a lot of people coming home. There'd be a lot of people saying, I can go back to my home state and eat decent biscuits. Sorry, I've fallen in love with the food down here. My weight shows it. Cocoa doesn't help, or mints. There's a good point. Although you have to be very careful here because your green card gives you no protection. Your card gives you no protection in this state. But So caution, absolutely. And that's an interesting point. Excuse me. That's a good cookie. um, is because it's just a point where citizens of our state have to leave the state for safe access or deal with a black market system. Um, Again, I'm looking at the taxes. Why? What's in it for our state? You know. Thank you for that, Joey. Yes, it's I don't know, about 20 ounces or something like that. It's a big bug. I like my cocoa. What can I say? Okay, but anyway, yeah, our state's losing out on revenue, uh, and you know what, we're going to lobby day. We're going to focus on, yeah, okay, medical. We they already know that. Oh man, these spam callers tonight. Um, we already know that's got pretty strong support, although our legislators don't necessarily. My local senator, not so much. Um, so anyway, we're going to go up there on February 9th, and we don't know what'll have happened, but with the Compassionate Care Act, the Senate version of it, between January 11th when they start session and February 9th by the time we get there, they have promised to make it a priority and get it debated first thing on the Senate floor. Um, we've seen some pushback recently by some anti-marijuana groups trying to say don't make this a priority. And excuse me. Uh, we need to get the message out there. Also, and I don't think I've gotten a chance to tell this to most of our crew here. Who do we have on? Oh, cool. We are confirmed and have our registration fees paid for January 15th. We will be at the Soda City Market in Columbia, South Carolina. We will be setting up a booth there. We will be handing out brochures which contain the normal Foundation Freedom Card, which will explain your rights to you in case you're ever stopped by law enforcement. Not fake particle board covered, and I don't know what the heck this stuff is. I just put an order in for some additional postcards. I ordered up 1,000 postcards. We split those postcards up into 5 packs because when you go to scvotes.org or to scstatehouse.org, and you type in to find out who your legislators are, they're going to give you your top 5 legislators, which are your local House representative, your local senator, your federal level House representatives, and then in South Carolina, Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham as your federal level senators. So they will give you those 5 people. So we give you 5 postcards because I figured, hey, for I don't know what's postage now, 37 cents a card or something like that. Y'all can afford that times 5 and put some stamps on these and send them out to your legislators. We have updated the cards a little. I'm turning around here, seeing if I have them, and I don't. All we really updated was the face on it, which has our logo on it, our branding, just to kind of get it more within our branding standards. The back basically has the same sort of checklist on why you support cannabis. The check boxes where you can check whether you are a resident here of South Carolina, and a checkbox to indicate whether you are a registered voter in South Carolina. We're hoping you're all registered voters, and of course, we're hoping you're sending these cards to your, well, once you get the list, it will be to your specific legislator, so they will know that you're a constituent. But I like to see that like extra checkbox, just a little nudge. So I'm a registered voter, dude, ma'am, whoever. Cookie time. And I'm gonna peek over here and chat real quick while I chew. Oh, let me go ahead and do this while I'm thinking about it real quick. Um, two things I need to do with y'all tonight. First is give you the registration link to sign up for next year's Cannabis Conversation calls. If you have not already, this will give you the new Zoom link once you're registered, and it will give me, it'll get you also in on the discussion board. I'm hoping to start doing this less of the last minute messaging through Facebook and reminding and doing more of a email alert through the discussion board earlier in the day or the day before. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Oops, I just direct messaged that to one person. Let me send that back to everybody. There we go. That is the one to register for the Cannabis Conversations for 2022, which I believe our first one's going to be the 5th. Get my calendar open here to make sure I see. Yes, January 5th, and that is going to be just less than a week, 6 days before the start of session. The second regular session of the 124th, what do they call it, legislature here in South Carolina will kick off on the 11th for the regular session. Special sessions happens, and I don't know. Other stuff goes on from there time to time. Oh, I got a quick check of chat here. No problem. Cool. And as a quick reminder on that too, on our new Wednesday calls, the Cannabis Conversations, the second Wednesday of every month will be our new open public meeting for South Carolina NORML. On those open public meetings, we have a pretty standard agenda on those where we kind of do a quick overview of what's going on at federal level, legislatively, what's going on at state level legislatively, what we are doing in our local chapter, and then of course we touch base on our upcoming events and things like that. So that will be the second Wednesday, which will be part of our every Wednesday conversation. If nothing else, it does two things: is it removes it from the third Tuesday of the month for me, frees up my Tuesdays, and secondly, is it's a topic that we already cover on the Cannabis Conversation, and it just puts it in a regular monthly place that we talk about, overview of what's going on federal, state level, legislatively, and local if something's going on locally and anywhere in the state that we know of. And as we know, talking locally, a lot of our focus at NORML here through the next year, for this coming year, I think is going to be decriminalization and I believe the path to decriminalization is starting at the municipal level, mostly because we don't have federal or state level referendums, voter referendums. If we did, I believe we would have voted medical in a long time ago and probably recreational even by now, but I believe the voters are there. But we don't have that. And so all we really have is the decrim through municipal level, which can only affect the penalty phase. But I think that's going to be one of the directions that we have to go. We've been watching them work on this in Pennsylvania for a number of years, or in Ohio. Pennsylvania's been doing similarly. Matter of fact, I was just reading sort of a breakdown of, I think, the past 6 or 7 years from another advocate that I know up in Pennsylvania about all the different, type of activities that they were involved in, rallies in this town and decrims in that town, and all kinds of round tables and things like that over the years. And that, again, I think helped them move their states forward, both Pennsylvania and Ohio. Ohio, I think, is now at 22 decrimmed, maybe 24. I'm losing count. So don't put me on jeopardy for how many towns in Ohio are decrimmed yet, but they're moving forward. I know it's over 22. It's 22 or higher. And we're at none right now. I did have some conversations earlier this fall with a couple of candidates that were running for town council. Probably at some point, got a lot going on the plate right now, but probably some point as we're moving into the new year in the first quarter, make sure I reach out to those particular candidates now that they're getting settled in. I don't know when city and town council people get signed in after an election. We know that we have November elections. The president signed in January on presidentials, but again, city and town councils, that I don't know. Sorry, cookie time. So, all right. Let me quick check on Josh Gass. What are the chances when it's federally legal? South Carolina will follow. That's a hard question. Well, because of states' rights. Jessica's asking why would they have to follow? I know I've seen some people say they have to comply with the DEA's blah 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 within certain 30 days. That not once they deschedule, all of a sudden any rulings on the DEA are gone. Now it's state law. So there's still, even if they change the law federally, it doesn't change the state law. I believe cities and states, I'll have to go back. I'm not sure on my history on this. Some of you may be able to correct me, but started outlawing marijuana as early as 1930. I don't think it was as early as 28. Let's say it was 1930. I believe so. That's 7 years before it became federally illegal. So it's not like all of a sudden the federal government goes, hey, we're going to do this. It's usually states start to do it and move it along. And that's why we've got how many medical states? 37 are we at? And I don't know, I just read somewhere full recreational. I don't think that number was wrong. But anyway, we have a bunch of states already moving in that direction. And now it's kind of the federal government coming along like, oh, geez, look at this. Maybe we should kind of do the right thing instead of being damn discriminatory hypocrites. So, yeah, I wish it sort of was automatic, but it's not. Now, their ability to enforce federal law and charge you with federal crimes such as growing and distribution, I don't know what the grow laws are here. Well, that's still possession. So, but they couldn't have, anyway, I think it would change where all of a sudden you couldn't at least get arrested for a federal crime. Now, mind you, I think it's 90 or 90% of all marijuana arrests are not federal charges. Yeah, and a direct message here is, someone's mentioned they can't use the federal illegality as an excuse at that point. And I must say, it's kind of interesting. My Senator Sandy Sen, a couple of years back, always used to use the excuse. She has kind of a pre-written excuse that she'll send back to the emails and stuff that come in. That, maybe I'd support it if it was FDA approved, something like that. Or I don't even know, it was maybe I would, but that was one of her big things. Well, it's not FDA approved, and and medicine should be FDA approved. And of course, to me, that excuse is such a, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think misnomer is quite the word, but I just it's just it's used more as, I think, as a distraction, because there's no real validity to, oh well, the FDA didn't approve it, because the FDA doesn't approve whole plants. It's not what the FDA does. The Department of Agriculture, uh, they might have restrictions, but the FDA deals with compounds. The second thing is the FDA doesn't do any research. And all they do is they kind of look at the research that's submitted to them by the big pharma funded universities and or big pharma themselves and or that kind of, and they'll evaluate it. Now, who knows if the research is accurate, true, if they've fudged it, and how many FDA-approved drugs have been recalled, have been found to do damage and harm. But anyway, back to the marijuana and research is you can't just go and randomly say, well, I'm going to research this, because now the DEA has control because it's a federally scheduled substance. And I found a postcard. And so it's sort of a catch-22. Well, it's not FDA approved. Well, FDA approval starts with research, submitted research. That's the first step in getting FDA approval for something, is submit your research. DEA controls who can do the research. It's, again, just another government body. And the thing about it is the FDA is not a scientific organization. It's not a medical organization. And so they shouldn't be controlling who can research this. They are an enforcement agency, and what we need to do is change the laws so that they don't have these laws to enforce. I don't know why law enforcement is so amped up against cannabis. The reason I say just change the laws and they won't be there to enforce, and I sort of giggle to myself as I'm saying it, because although Virginia recently did full legalization for recreational, apparently in the legislation they didn't include paraphernalia. So the police are still arresting people for pipes and bongs and papers and roach clips and stuff like that, is my understanding. Why it wasn't included? A rush to, I don't know. I think somebody was just sort of had their blinders on. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. What about the peripherals? Come on, y'all. Gotta keep that stuff in mind. No, yes, there is a lot of research done out of the country. Israel's been doing research and funded by the U.S. government for, I used to say 25 years, but I think it's more like 35 or more years now. So we do have, I need to move my screen around here a little bit. Canada's been doing a lot more research. But if any of you are on that thread from the Palmetto Family Council a couple weeks ago on the video to not make cannabis legislation a priority, there was a lot of comments on there, and there were people commenting like about, oh well, there's no real research, or there's they weren't going to listen to that because it wasn't research done in the U.S. or, well, again, you've got the FDA or the DEA to thank for that. The reason we can't do the research here in the U.S. is because they have to be allowed to permit it. Why? I have no idea. And of the research that they've approved, my understanding is like 94% of it has been researched specifically to look for or verify the negative effects of cannabis, and only like 6% has been to research any type of positive effect of cannabis. Um, and I don't think they've approved any research applications in over 4 years. I may be correct. I may be incorrect on that, but let's see what we got here. Hmm. Yeah, I think they're. Uh, okay, who do we have here? Ian asked if we have any word on the Nancy Mace bill yet. I have not heard anything. Um, if there was anything, it would just be new co-sponsors on there. Let me see. Oh, what's the name of her bill? Yeah, let me go look at it real quick. No, it doesn't look like anything new. She's got 4 co-sponsors on the bill, last updated 11/15. Uh, all Republicans, one from California, one from AK. Is that Alaska? Don Young, I believe he's Alaskan. That could be Arkansas. I don't know. Florida and Michigan. Um, really, I think the big thing for the Mace bill, they need 2 things. They need additional sponsors, and they need a companion bill from the Senate side. Would a descheduling bill co-sponsor, a descheduling bill, companion bill, sponsored by a South Carolina senator be great? Yes. Do you think we could get Graham or Scott to co-sponsor? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. All right. Really, I think it'd be a good move for Tim Scott, although I'm not a fan of his. He's hard for me to listen to some days. I don't know. So no, there's nothing moving on the Mace bill. Jeremy mentioned watching a Fox News special that interviewed 4 sheriffs where it seemed they were afraid that smokable cannabis would result in an anti-police counterculture. I don't know why they've got such paranoid delusions sometimes. With that, hashtag overturn Terry. As you know, I'm not a fan of the Terry v. Ohio, and I believe the overturn Terry movement is absolutely in the right direction. Also, I'll do a little quick hashtag and qualified immunity, because I believe in transparency and taking responsibility for your actions. So, I see another message popped up, but let me kind of scroll down. Jeremy mentions he's supposed to be an upcoming press conference on Mace's bill. I haven't heard that, but maybe I'll have to reach out to her crew here. Quick find which one of her cards I have here. There we go. Thank you for that. I will reach out and find out about an upcoming press conference on that. Well, and we know when we mentioned the police's position on it, uh, Senator Tom Davis has been very clear. Well, let me backpedal a little bit. The Compassionate Care Act companion bill that's sponsored in the House by Herb Kirschman does include smoking the smokable medical marijuana and sales of hemp flower or medical marijuana flower in the dispensaries. The Senate bill, Tom Davis's bill, does not. And Tom has been very clear about it. He says that it was removed to appease law enforcement in South Carolina, SLED, specifically South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, and our buddy Chief Mark Keel. Although I gotta give Tom credit because he follows that up with, or precedes it, or whichever way it was in the quote that I watched, in the clip that I watched. He understands that the efficacy of smokable marijuana, smokable medical marijuana, is preferred by many of the consumers, specifically, our vets with PTS. Seems to be their much preferred method, and their claim that is much more, of greater efficacy through that. So he's aware. He's aware that it could benefit, that it's beneficial. But he takes it out for people like SLED. McMaster would be another. My local senator, Nancy Mace, who feels that it's not going to be anything but a bunch of 18 to 25-year-olds getting, white boys, actually. She blames it because, and it's factual that whites will utilize the system much more than blacks. I don't blame them, but I think blacks should be suspect of any government program. They haven't been treated very fairly in government programs in the past. But yeah, my local senator thinks it's just going to be a bunch of 18 to 25-year-olds trying to circumvent the system with unverifiable pains and aches and things like that. If any of you have ever had back trouble, there's no way that a doctor can say, yes, you're in pain, or no, you're not. They can't feel it. But apparently Nancy Mace knows better. And I'm going to throw this out there in case any of you can kind of point me in the right direction. I have been trying to find some demographics on age and primarily on age of medical marijuana card holders in legal medical marijuana states. I've gotten some documentation out of Louisiana, and I've gotten some documentation out of Oregon. And in both of those areas, I think Florida, the Louisiana numbers for 18 to 25 were like about 3.2% of the consumers, of the card holders, were in that age group. 3.2%. The numbers actually climbed pretty consistently from 25 up to like 20 and 25% or thereabouts for the next couple of age groups. So it wasn't just a bunch of young people rushing out and trying to get. The Oregon numbers, and I'm talking off the top of my head because I don't think I have the link or the document right in front of me, was a little lower. I believe that was something like 2% Let's see. No, that's the Louisiana one. The other one's a link. So again, the numbers are relatively low on the two states that I've found. I don't know where my senator, Sandy Sen, we've got to call her my senator. Just, that closeness I feel to her. I don't know where she's getting her numbers. I'm assuming she's quoting some of the propaganda that comes out of Mark Keel's mouth, and he gathers that again from probably some of those same four sheriffs that were on the Fox News special. I think I had to go back and make sure it was a Fox News special before I just Fox unfairly. Okay. I'll put this here to remind me to contact him about a Mace conference. Let me go through a real quick kind of check what comments we're getting in here. Well, you got to say some of the things with the CBD hemp and stuff in this, and even the Delta 8s, they're enforcing, I'm not sure what laws, but they've been confiscating and stuff like that in some of the upstate. Matter of fact, I have on my list, I'm looking for some speakers for our press conference on February 19th, and I'm thinking there's a couple whose farm was busted up in the upstate. And now that you mentioned that there's some shops that were, I know, raided in Myrtle Beach. And some of these folks could be able to probably talk very well about the need for decriminalization in our state and some of the harms that come from having simple possession of cannabis and hemp products. Hemp products is not illegal. Even Tom Davis came out after SLID kind of made their big thing about it after the state attorney general's recommendation letter or whatever the hell they called that, opinion letter. And gave pushback, says no, that bill that they passed, the CBD bill, did include that. They're trying to claim that hemp flower is unprocessed hemp. They don't somehow understand that the drying and curing is a process. It doesn't just magically happen. You can't just throw it in a bin and let it go or anything like that. Let me see if I can understand what some of these other comments are. We're talking a bit about CBD and Delta 8 in here. What's this, Josh? There's a CBD shop right down the street from this Capitol. I take it from this this comment.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Okay, and thank you for that, Jeremy. It's not a Nancy Mace conference. South Carolina Compassionate Care Alliance will be having a press conference January 18th in Columbia. All right, that is
Yeah, that's going to be regarding our upcoming bill, the South Carolina Compassionate Care Act. And
right.
I tagged you on Facebook for that Fox Carolina Sheriff's Special.
Okay, I'll have to go check that on Facebook in a minute. Appreciate it. I'll go take a look at that. Let me go ahead and copy this info just so I have it. Kind of mark my calendar because I don't know if I'll make it up for that, but I'd love to attend.
we should at least organize some of the Columbia people to make it that day.
Yeah, I don't know if Passionate Care Alliance has an event on their Facebook page for that or not. But I'm sure that they'd love to see a show of support for their medical bill. I just want to make sure I get the time in here before I forget. All right. Do you know if they have a location? Oh, let me kind of real check. All right. Cool. Okay, there's that. Oh, okay. I even commented on that one. Yeah, I did watch that one. Well, little bits of it. It was the cannabis conversation, or the cannabis comments were right toward the end of that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I saw that because Pamela Abbott shared that on her page, I believe, and I follow her just because I have to. Sorry, I have to. Yes, thank you for that. Probably go back and watch it again. I'll hide that over there. All right, let me just check this one other thing while I'm here. That's what it is. Events. No, okay. I don't see when there's an event. I've dropped that on my calendar though. So, folks, just kind of keep that in mind. That'll be January 18th, South Carolina Compassionate Care Alliance will be having a press conference at the State House. If I find a location for that, or if Jeremy gets one, I will pass it along. With that, we will be at the State House in February 9th. We are coming a little bit later. I was looking at earlier in the year, but we were not fully prepared, and I'm not familiar with, we've never done one there before. So I was thinking, hey, show up on Friday. And actually, it was Jill who says, I don't think they're there on Friday. I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway, I think y'all may have remembered I was trying to reach out to a couple of other organizations for a little bit of heads up on it, and ended up we just picked a Wednesday in February. We're going to go. It will be a little bit later than the start of session. Will be about the tail end of that first month. Let me check time here. We're chatting away. First floor lobby of State House. Okay, that's where we're going to be as well on the 9th. So they will be on the first floor lobby of the State House, January 15th, indoors, which you never know what the weather's going to be on in the middle of January. It could be cold and wet and rainy, so good choice. All right. Last but not least, I do want to mention that and get you guys a link for that. Let me go back here for our lobby day in case folks want to kind of come up and join us. We do have a few folks already signed up. We will be starting to call in and make these appointments just after the beginning of the new year. Let me make sure I get this going to everybody. So again, this is the link for the South Carolina normal lobby day. Our lobby day will not be focused as much on the medical bill, as we were kind of hoping that we're counting on the Compassionate Care Alliance to be doing that. We will touch on that, especially as we're lobbying with our legislators, but our press conference will be pretty much roundabout of decriminalization, the need for decriminalization and harm reduction through decriminalization here in South Carolina. That's going to be kind of our focus and our push. We're going to announce, for the most part, that is our intent and intention. So we're working on gathering up a couple of speakers for that event. I have a nice little list of folks I think will work out well. We'll fill you in on that as we get a little bit closer. But if you do want to join us there on lobby day and talk to your legislator with us, what we're going to hopefully be doing is having our team split up and taking different groups to different legislators, and we will accompany you to speak to your legislator. So we're not just going to kind of push you through the door on your own. It may or may not be actually specifically your legislator. Most probably it will be one of their aides. That's not a bad thing. Many times the aides have a lot more specific knowledge on certain subjects than the legislators themselves, and so it's kind of handy to actually talk to them, and they can give more accurate information and pass it on more accurately to the legislator. If you sign up with that on that link, that will give us it asks for your full address. What we need there is your full address on where you're registered to vote at. I don't have a vacation home at the beach, but thankfully I only live about 5 miles from the beach now. And everybody apparently here at the beach wants to have a vacation home up in the mountains. So, because it gets hot. And I understand it's beautiful up in the upstate in the summertime, and some of the nice mountainy tree covered rivers flowing. Somebody was asking a photography group I'm in locally here in Charleston, are there any waterfalls around that I can do waterfall photos with my clients? Low country is the low country for a reason. There ain't no highland around here. There's no waterfalls for, I think 70 miles or something like that. I forget what the comments were, but it's quite a ways away. You're not going to find any waterfalls here in the low country, any substantial ones for photographs. All right, guys, I see we're at 7:55 here already. We're kind of tapping it out. I want to thank you for joining me for my cocoa tonight and our little holiday soiree. Oh, what is that? I'm watching this Long Mirror show, and there's a place there called the Red Pony and Never Ending Soiree, and I'm always amused by that. Anyway, we're going to kind of wrap it up for tonight. Again, there is the link for Lobby Days. One more time, I will drop the link for our cannabis conversations next year.
Hey, Scott.
Yes.
I clicked the link to sign up for the Lobby Day. All it asked for was my phone number.
Oh, really?
Did it on my phone. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh, you know why? Probably because you're already in the system and it has the rest of your information. But let me go look at that real quick. All right. You signed up now, or you didn't actually sign up now?
Yeah, I just signed up for it.
Let me refresh. Okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't even see who was out talking. Was that you, Josh?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, you're already in the system, so it had everything else. Because I'm seeing here on the reply, I've got your email, your home address, and that'll tell me who your legislators are. So what I'll be doing the next, actually, Kristen and I will probably be doing in the next, probably like the first week right before we get into it, is just kind of gathering up. I've already started a list on like what legislators we need to contact based on who's already signed up. And right as session starts is my plan, if not before, because they're in the office, start calling to schedule our appointments with them and see if we can get a good flow for the day. And then depending on how many of our team go up with us, it may just be Kristen and I. We may have one of our board members. I don't think we're going to have both of our other board members, but we'll see. Hopefully then they'll be able to we'll be able to kind of split up into some groups so that we don't have to all kind of try and figure it out together. And we'll work on giving everybody a schedule so that they know when to meet us at their legislator's office. So if they don't want to follow the group around, they can, kind of actually take a little bit of state house tours, probably something fun and educational to do, and then meet us at the different, your senator and your House reps offices at the appointed times. As I mentioned, we're going to try and keep it kind of short and sweet. We don't expect any real long sit downs. We will prepare a one sheet for you. We'll ask you to have maybe a little bit of some of your own story on why you think decriminalization is important in South Carolina. And or if you're supporting the medical bill, you're also welcome to discuss that with them. But we're going to try and keep it where we'll come in with you. We'll probably do a little bit of an intro sort of thing. We'll then sort of go around to the constituents that are there in the room and let them each have their little say. We'll do a little follow-up, wrap up with them, present them with anything we might be leaving behind, and hopefully then do a group photo with them before we head out the door and on to our next appointment. So that's kind of what's going the itinerary on each of the visits will be. And we're figuring they're going to be 5, maybe 10 minutes tops. I don't expect them to be long meetings. If you do have any other questions or comments on it as we're moving forward, please feel free to reach out to me at our email, which is normalsouthcarolina.org, NORML, no A in there. Don't forget, probably the easiest way to get a hold of us is through our website, scnormal.org, and go to the contact page. Otherwise, Follow our social media on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And last but not least, go to our website, scnormal.org. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Click on that button to sign up for our email list. We're hoping to utilize that a little bit more in this coming 2022 year with our action alerts and touching base with our legislators. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of go and finish my cookie and cocoa here. I'm surprised I haven't already. Usually I quaff that stuff down. And I'm going to thank you all for joining me here tonight. And I will see you again next Wednesday, right here on the South Carolina Cannabis Conversation. Thanks a lot. Have a happy new year and have a prosperous and joyous new year ahead.